to the Black Gryph0n Appreciation Panel. My name is Nora Mermaid. I'll be your guide and your host in the crazy world of Black Gryph0n and how much I and a lot of people love him. So let's start off at the beginning. Actually, before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to some people. Quick shout out to Alex, who made the amazing art for this panel. Give it up for Alex. Yeah! He wanted to be here, but he couldn't make it. And also shout out to a lot of people on here, including, but not limited to, Patricia, who aka Dashlight 446, James, aka James of Cohen, Rosie, aka Rosie Diamond, Valerie, aka Snowdrop, Kira, aka Peck Sister Kiwi, and Christian, aka Gryph0n, who is actually the front row. Give it up for Christian! By the way, I still can't believe you made it, man. I'm actually impressed.
You were not supposed to. I was supposed to jump in when you said my name, but.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm really good at noticing people.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm bad at stealth.
Don't worry, so am I. Don't worry, so am I, man. Now let's get started. With a really weird question. How did I get here? How did all this crap happen? Well, I started off by watching the show. I heard about the show from a bunch of friends of mine, and I'm like, My Little Pony, this is stupid. I would never get into something like this. This is the worst thing in the world. 3 weeks later, I'm watching an episode, and it's winter wrap-up. And I'm like, this is actually really good and really awesome. And slowly but surely, I became a fan. But Gabe is a different story. The first time I had seen his Twilight Wishes videos, I'm like, oh, this is cute, but just ignored the rest of him. I could not deal. I just watched his videos, watching the animations, and that's it. I never cared for the music, never cared for all that. But then he did his first Bronies React. Bronies React to College was my little brony. And I watch it, and I'm looking, and I'm seeing, oh, it's cool. There's Jax Clay, there's AC Race Fest, there's Saber Spark. And, hello, who is that gorgeous man in a sailor's uniform? Seriously, I don't know what it was, but it was just that uniform. But it was like, oh, damn, this is too much. And I was like, okay, and I started watching some of his stuff, and it was okay. So that was amazing. Hi, take a seat. Hi, take a seat. Okay. Hi, take a seat. And it was, yeah, that was. Oh, okay, just get out of the way.
Lots of people coming in now.
Yeah, I know, I'm aware. Yeah, sorry guys, it's my first panel, so stuff will happen. And it just got crazy, and then eventually I got bigger fan, whenever I saw the Bronies React, I got really excited. It's like, oh my gosh, it's Gabe in his sexy military uniform. I don't know why I said that, but I liked it then. And then by the spring, I found more of his videos, including some of the ones where he was in the military. I went that far, and I felt like that was the lowest I've been, and I'm like, no, not again. I mean, I'm a crazy fangirl, but I'm not going that crazy ever again. And then by summer 2013, I was completely hooked. Fall, hook, line, sinker. I got into him, and since then, I have seen him 5 times. This is my 5th time seeing him, and every time seeing him, it is a joy and a pleasure to be around him. You can have a seat. You can sit down. Now, let's talk about his music, which is kind of the reason why a lot of us are here. And it's amazing. How many of you guys like this album, Immortal? Yes, exactly. Exactly. One of my favorite songs on it is actually, I'm going to show it later, but I want to know what's one of your favorite songs from Immortal? Christian, what's your favorite song of Immortal?
Another Man.
Deadpool, what's your favorite song of Immortal?
You're asking the wrong guy.
What's your favorite song off Immortal? What's your favorite song off Immortal? Anyone, say it!
Another End.
Okay. That is actually my favorite song. But first, we're gonna have a little listen into the first thing that helped him jumpstart his way into the fandom. If you want, you can sing along. I don't mind.
That's gonna happen. If that's gonna happen, then I'm bringing this around.
No!
What we talking about?
And the Wi-Fi crash. No, I'm talking to myself.
Sorry. It's okay. Sing-along's happening? I want to get footage of this.
I mean, I play the fusion version, but it wasn't a lot because he just heard this one in a while.
The reason I should mention it would be cool, but it feels so good outside. Why can't I mention Fluttershy? You didn't love me back. Well, she can be herself here, and I'm going to just away from her don't count. Why can't I mention you get high and the way she kind of acts? Yeah, I feel like me sometimes. You see that you still get that.
You know, I should bring my rapid dash costume here and see how many people get it.
You try to make me feel embarrassed. Your attempts at bringing me in with a trouble. I'm the one with problems. They're the ones who want mistakes. For those who watch me every minute. We shouldn't be like that. So give me 20% cooler. 10 seconds fly. Why don't you mention the river dash? You're at back still. Now she would try to look at anything just to get a little feel. Why don't you mention Apple Jack from the batter? Southern style power of you. See you go on the thing that you hate. My little pony. Yeah, yeah. Shout it out. I'm not a hero.
We should do that. It's very hard for me to pick it up with the that's why I work. Episode 100. Never seen it the same.
You gotta be you gotta be
Yes, I am.
Yes.
He's proud to be a brony.
And we still are.
Yeah!
Now let's get into the actual stuff, like his actual other music. He's made like his song "Say," which he named Michelle Creamer, or "Getting Stronger," which is one of my favorites, or my personal favorite song and my favorite song from Immortal. My favorite song from Immortal, which I had here on this playlist, "Taking Off."
sunrise on the ocean. I ride with a bit of emotions.
Time.
I look back on the path that life takes me, but someday will erase me. How much time? To the end of the day, you never bother me, and I can never see why. So why? But at least I know that it's all over. Take it off and find gravity.
again I end up here. Telling me I'm don't wanna see the places we know we can't be courage without fear. Oh, how much more will I endure?
Ready?
Take off and the win is over. Taking off and defying gravity. Taking off and defying gravity. How many days will survive? How many nights? Well, I guess it doesn't matter, 'cause eventually I'll fly. But I'm gonna do it on my own. Sunrise above the ocean. I find music in the ocean. Here we go. Above the ocean. I find music in the ocean. Taking off and find a rarity.
I've not heard that. That sounds hilarious. Although I think I might sing that next time. Just to mess with him.
How many days will survive? How many
Ads suck.
Actually, funny story about taking off. When I first saw Gryph0n concert, he actually, that was one of the songs he sang, and during this number, he put the mic up to my face to me. He's like, sing with me. I'm like, and that's why it's my favorite song. Well, that is just cute. I know it's weird, but this is how I am. Okay, next, YouTube videos. He is doing pretty well YouTube-wise. I mean,
His fan base is growing now.
he's got Butch Hartman now as a fan, and Brock Baker, which is amazing. And his impressions. Oh my God, the impressions! I still can't believe he has gotten so many views, so many stuff from that, and it's amazing. And that makes me so happy that people are starting to see how amazingly talented he is. And let's watch some of those impressions.
Hi, I'm Mermaid, Gryph0n, and these are my impressions of the two famous songs.
Baby, I'm free on your night. Hunt you down in your night. Just like animals. Animals like animals.
Oh, don't worry, it's coming back.
No,
I like it, Gabe, but not.
He does it better.
Yeah.
he does. So much better.
Don't do that. That's my favorite.
Still don't know how. Still don't know how.
Easy, it's Gabe. Don't question it.
Well,
It's that training.
Oh, that was impressive.
Oh, yeah.
I know, he looks like a giant dork. But I love him.
What the hell?
That was my
It's actually really good.
At least you got the wig correct. Of all things.
this one was good too.
That was really, yeah.
Or the loaded.
Not enough
I'm He glued that thing together. That was impressive.
My only favorite song.
I see you driving round
He's really good at amazing his props.
got the first real six string, bought it at the 5 and dime. Every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you. Look at this fool.
Okay, didn't see that one coming.
Time on my
Not only is it talent,
He's got props.
He's got
keeps
the-
us entertained, so.
That was really impressive.
I'm gonna get that lower.
Carried you away to the alligator sky.
Should have been a
Say goodbye.
It's okay, Christian. You can cry.
Thanks for watching.
Actually, you know what? Because I thought that was awesome, let's do the other one he did that came out this year.
Another one?
My name is Gryph0n. Black Gryph0n. These are my 10
I know, but
I feel like he's the loser in this one, too.
You love me, let me go.
Yes, better get the disco.
Wait,
Where does he find this?
he probably made it.
Probably.
Shot through the heart.
Yeah.
And you're too late, darling, you give love a bad name.
Bad name.
I thought you were talking about
I think that guy started as a YouTuber too. I don't know if I like him as Chucky.
Shake what you
I love you, Jay, but what the that made me question myself.
Somebody
Yeah. Christian Brown, what am I gonna do with you?
In the shed.
one more time, we're gonna celebrate.
What the hell is that helmet?
The closest thing you can get.
looks like an astronaut.
Raise me up so I can stand on Mount Web. Will we ever see the end?
That's out. Lion King.
You know what funny you did last year? Just to kind of secure
Yes, this is what it is.
me personally. So just say her sing oh, I forget the thing.
What's on the other side?
Treat you better than he can.
I met you, I drink too much and that's an issue, but okay.
We just getting started,
Oh, Joe Jonas. My childhood. I mean, middle school.
What was that word?
You don't know how to know.
Probably right.
No. Yeah.
All the way.
Actually, let's do one more. It's cartoons.
Yes.
My name is Gabriel.
around. Like Gryph0n, these are my attempted impressions of...
I suggested one of them.
Before time began, there was the cube. The Rubik's Cube.
You see, Lois, I thought you was what you quite Maya. I wish. Gimme.
I think it's our legal test.
I don't live in Quahog anymore.
Peter started the entire backyard and she's on that.
Dreams are true, come true.
What have you done with my daughter, fatty?
Peter, come quick. It's Lois. She's robbing me.
Oh my God. Has a surprising ability to eat drop in a single bite.
Hey, Spitler. Let me hear it. Why does Ariel wear seashells?
Does she wants to?
Because seashells are too big.
Quiet! Everything belongs to Disney. You wanna get sued?
It's best impression.
Right this way. Wait, say what?
First I'll eat, then I'll get a wet.
Sounds good to me. You'll buy it.
I bought last time.
Well, you're gonna buy again.
Burrito.
Luigi.
Did he make his video recently? Because he looks like his dad.
No way I will figure out the key. So.
Oh, wow.
Dang it! It's like you can read my mind.
Got a little bridge. You look perfect here. If you made a little bridge, that'd be cool.
Hello, I'm Kermit the Frog. I'm here to talk about the relationship between me and Miss Piggy.
And I'm here to make sure he doesn't.
Look at me.
Becky, where are you taking us?
That's his career.
Oh, funny.
I don't know about this. It doesn't seem very ethical.
Morty, do you have any idea how relative the term ethical is? This planet is considered ethical to literally eat deceased family members.
That's the one I suggested.
Yes.
I'm trying to let's play again. Oh, crap.
I gotta hear funny.
Nerd strong. Why don't you stop making Steven? Everybody in Leon. Mr. Burns.
Good day, Mermaid. Well, now, at least somebody around here has some courage.
I'm standing right here, sir.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes, well.
I knew that was gonna come.
Happy birthday, trying to imitate Nick.
Let me know.
If you did like this video, I'm always making content.
I appreciate you even more that you were the one that suggested strong bad.
I wanted to do Prince Eric or Sebastian, but he didn't.
Too obvious.
But there's a reason why.
I will say, I don't think he has much comparison to me.
Oh, screw it. Oh, shut up.
Oh, called out. Called out.
Thank you. But this isn't what he was really known for at first. We all know what he was really known for. Music. Tara.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't no other control it down like me. I'm Twilight. This shit.
I feel old.
I watched that video so many times in high school. And I didn't even know who he was, and I didn't even care back then. I'm 18. I was 18. It was like 5 years ago.
No, I'm
4 years ago.
I'm also just like, oh god, high school.
In the middle of it.
She has her own career.
She's always been.
Not always. She needed to go with her to H. I left. So yeah, I remember that. But my favorite of those was was the Pinkie Pie one, or the Applicious where Big Mac was interrupted. That was my favorite. Oh my god, I still can't believe I watched those and just didn't care who he was back then. Now I care, and it makes me love it even more. Yeah, my god. Remember he was just an artist and not a music guy?
Yeah. That was
Humble beginnings.
Oh my god, we are all cringy people.
Yeah, we are.
Some of us still are. Some of us still are, Will.
Some things never change.
Love hate.
Tell it to Katie.
I'm very tempted to just like.
So, but now, you know what? I want to hear. From you. Christian, how did you become a fan?
Why me?
I know, you're on the bloody poster.
Alright, so.
Look, come up.
I guess I
Stand next to Mama.
And zoom!
A year younger than me?
Yeah, you're 23, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean.
Again, Mama.
You gave birth to me?
No.
When I was 1? When you were 1? Okay.
I feel we're getting off topic here.
Good boy. Get a cookie.
Nice. Anyways, so it was almost the same process as the way how I became like Nora. Like saw him on Bernie's React. It was just like, nah, this guy's pretty funny. It was actually when I saw him in doing like watching AC Race Best's Gundam Style video. Remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
2012.
And his backflips on that.
Backflip off the building he was on, I recognized. For some reason, I was like, I know that building. And I looked up where he was stationed at the time, Yokosuka, Japan. My dad was stationed there from 2001 to 2004. So it was kind of cool to see that small world where, you know, where like my dad was stationed exactly where Gabe was. Of course, at completely different times. But also it was just music in general. I wanted to sing like him, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm finding my own voice and I'm his student now because I've taken lessons with him. So,
Oh.
All right. Go back. Yeah, back to the seat. Now, I want to hear, raise your hand if you want to tell your story about how you became a fan. Okay, Will.
Willie!
Alright. Did you want me to get up?
No.
Oh, okay, I see.
Rejects.
Alright. I became a follower of Gabe. There were two things of his that came out around a certain time that sort of made me want to know more about this person, and that was, first of them was Twilighticious, and the other one was Proud to be a Brony. That was like one of the first sort of pony fan songs that I've heard, and then I discovered his SoundCloud, and he uploaded some general stuff.
I actually remember that SoundCloud.
And then I saw like a little sneak peek of PIRL, when he's in real life, a song when he was on camera with his brother. Both of them were stationed on opposite ends of the world. And I continued to follow him as then along came his cover of Being with Michelle Creeper. And then the rest just sort of became history. I actually had the opportunity of performing alongside him a few times at some cons.
Yeah, I tried giving you a cupcake for that.
How that came about, Equestria LA 2013, I was in the front row when Michelle and Natalie Sharp and her mother were performing the song. I was conveniently in my MJ outfit, Billie Jean, and they invited me on stage to dance during the last portion, and then Monique Creeper, Michelle's mother, sent me an email saying, Gabe is actually possibly going to be attending BronyCon 2013. Are you going to possibly be there? We would love to have you dance with us again.
Lucky!
From that point on, I continued following his work. Loved his album with Nate, and of course getting stronger with Michelle. We're pretty close now. We don't talk as much because he's busy, I'm busy.
Yeah, of course.
But either way, like I'm always glad to catch up with him whenever I get a chance.
Awesome! It's awesome to hear. Anyone else want to share a story? Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead.
So we got into backcountry stuff, like basically around the time he was still doing the Bernie's React with the...
He's still doing that.
Yeah, of course. My favorite moment in one of those videos, when he jumped out of the plane and he shouts, "Twilight standing by OC!"
Oh yeah, skydiving, yeah.
That was just the most hilarious scene. I could not stop laughing. And I think from there I listened to a few of his songs. He did with Michelle Creeper. My favorite song that he did was it was that one song with Twilight.
There's a lot. Oh, it's Fast You Know? Oh yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
That's actually my favorite song by Gryph0n.
Oh, I love that song.
That one and the one with Luna.
Oh, Moonlight. I love Moonlight. Yeah, that's a really good song.
Just that whole album is fantastic. I have it on Spotify.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share their story about anything with me at a game? Oh, okay, yeah.
I got into Black Gryph0n stuff right around the time when he first started Brony's Arena. The very first one. And obviously I thought at the time that, oh, this guy is like over the top obnoxious, overreaction all the time. I thought about that for a long time, but then I started to realize most of it is just purely what he does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then all came along the Immoral album, and that's what I got hooked.
Awesome.
In fact, I carry Basics glasses.
Oh, those are his glasses?
From BabsCon 2 years ago.
Okay, that's pretty epic. I'm kind of jelly. But it's basic, so. Okay, anyone
Doesn't
else?
matter, his signature's still on it.
I know.
It
Okay,
still
anyone
counts
else
for
want to tell
anything.
their story? Anyone?
What story?
About how did you invent a game?
Fan of Gabe?
Oh, okay, go on. Okay, Race, come up here.
Oh, okay.
Race,
Where do you want to stand?
stand next to Mama.
Okay.
No. Exactly. Yes, right here. Good boy.
So I see that you're your UPD.
I'll let you a cookie
I
later.
became a fan of Gabe when he made lots of video games. And Susan is a big guy, but his last name's Newell. Thank you. No, Black Gryph0n?
Yes.
You know what's funny is I actually got to know Gabe without actually realizing I knew Gabe. I didn't realize he was the one who did the Proud to be a Brony song.
Oh.
While I was also starting to work with him on Brony's React. And at some point I'm like, wait, oh, it's that guy. So yeah, I guess like I found his music first. So that's what happened.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like there's something wrong with it.
No. We're all fans here.
Are we all together in this problem?
Woo! No. I started to discover the animation, then I came for music, then later on, I carry music a lot.
Wait, you like the animation but not the music?
No. When I first got into him, I was in high school and I just thought, ooh, pretty animation. Don't care about the rest.
Okay.
Hey, I was 18. I wasn't really naive then.
Yeah, 18. I remember when I was 18.
Yeah, you're on.
I remember when I was.
Glad we were stupid, young. Okay, really, that's not even true, Race. Sarah even knows that.
Sarah appreciation. But no, yeah, I wanted to just check out this. I didn't mean to like.
Oh, no, it's totally fine. Yeah, go ahead. Let's go to Race Pass.
Yay.
Anyone else want to share their story?
Well,
Anyone else want to? Oh, yeah, Deadpool. Come on, Princess Stage, now Princess Deadpool.
well, I'm not as maybe rabid a fan as some people here. Like, no one's gonna be able to match you. But yeah, back when I first became a Brony, I was kind of, a little bit ashamed of it because I thought I was alone. Then I discovered the internet. Kind of lame, but please don't judge me. But yeah, then I heard that song, Proud to be a Brony. It's like, wow, you don't have to. I really don't have to be afraid. There are people always like me. It's like, yeah, so I really owe a lot to him for that. And yeah, been a fan ever since. And a few years later, this insanity.
Hey, it's an awesome insanity.
It's a great insanity.
You're Princess Deadpool. Come on.
Best state.
The best princess.
Ladies and gentlemen, Princess Deadpool. Alright, anyone else want to share their story? Come on, don't be shy.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Jackson! Sit next to Mama.
What's your name and your favorite color?
Hey, I can give her to any kids. You
I like the sound. Okay. Alright, so anyways, I remember when I met Dave, I did the first meeting, he contacted me.
What?
Yes, this is funny. So this, you don't even know this, Nora.
No,
so
I don't know a lot of stuff, okay?
So I was making this video because there's this fan fiction. I don't know if any of you know it called My Little Dashies. Back in 2011, back when I was just like, what is this pony nonsense? Get out of here with this stuff. And so I just like looked at it and I was like, Liquid Pride came. Liquid Pride just kept coming down my face and I was just like, can't believe it. So I get a message on YouTube back in the time when you could send messages and pictures.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
A message from this guy called Christ Kids.
Oh yeah, that's like the embarrassing name.
Yes, and he was like, hey, I just want to say, I saw your My Little Dashie reaction, and I want to make this picture, and it was Gabe hugging.
Oh, I saw that!
Yes, he made that.
He made that from you?
Yeah, yes, he made. I still have the thing on my YouTube thing. He sent it. That was him. Yes, that was Gabe hugging the Rainbow Dash. And so I was like, who is this guy? And so like, I didn't know he was the one who sang the Are You Proud to Be a Brony song, because I was bumping that in the gym. I was like, yeah,
what? You were?
Yes. That's a good song.
Yeah, of course it is.
That's a good,
We
great
were
song.
just playing it earlier.
Yeah, and so like I listened to that, and then like when I first met Gabe, like he like came up to me like he knew me, and I was like, Gabe, like I was a fan of him. I'm like, I know you, man. Like, how do you know me? I'm just a measly little guy.
You are not. Hey, really, you measly kiss my butt about that.
Okay. Ever since 2011, 12, we've been good friends ever since. And Gabe, but that's how we met.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Slade! Anyone else? Jessica?
These guys.
Okay. Anyone else want to tell? Come on.
Do you guys want to hear an embarrassing story about Gabe?
Yes, I will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, may serious best again.
Sorry, I'm not trying to.
No, it's okay.
So,
I like embarrassing stories.
I'm going to stand on this side
It's
because
the
you guys need
least
some
best
love too.
appreciation.
Alright.
I will never offend you.
So, some guy outside is wearing the exact same shirt I am.
Well, it's.
I thought I made this. Alright.
Shirt twin!
So, Jax was talking about like kind of the first time we met Gabe in person. And you know, we a lot of us had been talking with him online, working with him on projects. But the first time we met him was at BronyCon 2013.
Yeah.
Now, when Gabe booked his flight,
Oh, I remember this.
he didn't realize that he booked his flight to the wrong airport. So when we went to go and pick him up, we ended up having to drive 2.5 hours away from the convention center to go pick him up in a different state because he flew into the wrong one. Now when he checked, he flew into Dulles instead of
In
Baltimore.
DC. Oh, he flew to DC?
Yes, but he thought when he checked, he thought he was flying into Dallas. He thought he messed up even more. So yes, Gabe. We all thought he was perfect, but that day I realized
Believe me, I love the man. I know he's not perfect.
he's as human as us all.
Gentlemen, that's the bunny man.
The bunny man.
Of course he's the funny.
All right.
Yeah.
Got one.
Okay.
You got one?
Okay, this side. Oh, no, please sit down. Yes, what's your story?
You.
What?
What?
No, you were asking how to become a fan.
No, I was asking you, how did you become a fan?
Well, see, that's the thing. I was kind of familiar with his stuff, before that. I'd seen those videos, what have you. Then it was BronyCon 2015. I was out there over Baltimore. I was just hanging out with Punman Kenobi. We were both kind of hanging out in front. I guess Gabe was on his way out, and we were just tapping onto each other. And we were chatting, and I was telling him, like, hey, I sing opera, and he just loved that fact, and he just grabbed me, picked me up,
He does that a couple times.
Yeah, and right after I'm like, this is a guy, I should check him out. So that's what
He's awesome. He's pretty awesome like that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's hilarious. During laser tag today, he picked me up after we won against Vincent.
You won?
Well, first we lost, then we won.
Oh, 2 rounds?
Do-over.
If we had to do a do-over, yeah, it happens. But you know what? That kind of stuff happens.
Aw.
Yeah, anyone else got the story you want to tell about how to become a fan?
Anybody?
Or you can tell a embarrassing story like Reese did.
Tell those.
About Gabe. It has to be Gabe related. Anyone? No one?
Wait, I heard. What was that?
Aspen, you have something to say?
Please, it's all I have planned. Does anyone have a story? Anything?
He's got one.
Oh, okay, come on. Actually, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, we only said okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really hear much about him until later in the whole fandom start thing, because I got into it in 2012. BabsCon, when was the first year of BabsCon? Like
2014.
14. So I was there with a whole bunch of my friends, and we're from Bakersfield. We went all the way over there. They were really into the whole, like, the fandom and everything. I was still, like, getting newer into it, and I was going down in an elevator somewhere, and Gabe actually showed up. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know any of his music or anything. I was like, oh, okay, it's a person. We got off the elevator. My friends saw who I was with. They freaked out. I'm like, what's going on? And they, he was walking by, and they were just like, dude, do you know who that was? I'm like, no, I have no idea who that was. That night, they introduced me to all of his stuff, and it's just came over from there.
Laura, do you want to tell your story about how you became a fan? What? Do you want to tell your story about how you became a fan, Gabe?
That's what I was thinking about.
If you want to, you don't have to. Sure. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our vice chair, Laura.
Yay!
Oh!
I worked for a music producer. I was his personal assistant. We lived in Phoenix, and I needed a job, and so I went and I worked for Shamrock Foods. And this guy walks up to the booth, and I'm giving him cookies and milk, and he's like, "You're really good at this. Come be my assistant." And I said, "Absolutely." And so I was a producer's assistant for probably 6 months to a year. And then he was training me. He was like, I need someone to go talent searching. I need someone to go and do cold watches of bands when they play music festivals and things like that. And then we can fast track them on getting the record deals and whatnot. And I said, okay, I'll try. And he said, okay, I want you to listen to literally every piece of music you find on YouTube. If it comes up in your suggestion box, I need you to listen to it. I've listened to some really terrible music. And Gabe's stuff popped up, and I was like, this kid, pretty good. And so I did some research, I did some digging. He wasn't someone that we could sign just because that wasn't what our label did. And but that was how I discovered him, how I discovered his music.
Awesome! Ladies and gentlemen, Laura! Oh my god, yeah. I actually also know a funny story about Gabe. I was at a dinner at Weasley PonyCon, and we were just talking about dogs, and all of a sudden he's like, yeah, you have a oh my goodness, what is that? And he just gets distracted by a fidget spinner. And he's like too distracted by it, and all of a sudden he like starts looking and studying the flickering lights of the fluorescent ceiling. It was like, well, that's a thing, and at least I know he's not perfect. Yeah. So yeah, now what? Anything? Anybody? Come on! Anyone? Supposed to be coming. He should be here by now.
Well, I mean, he's right there.
He's right
What?
there. He's right there.
Yeah, over here. Come on.
You know where you're going.
Goodness gracious. It's my duty to watch it.
It's my duty to watch it.
JJ, I'm not gonna hurt him. Cut his fingers off. Hi guys. So I was gonna do something, but I guess now we can do a Q&A about him. So if you have any questions for him?
Gabe, why did you make that picture of you hugging the dash and send it to me?
Did I send it to you?
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
I must have thought that you were worthy.
Yes, that's funny there. What is it?
When are you going to send me your season 7 finale?
When I film it for Brody.
It's gonna be 3 hours long this time.
It will be 3 hours.
First off, Gabe, I want to say thanks for friending me on Facebook. I just wanted to ask, how did you get in with Michelle Krieger?
In with Michelle Krieger? That's an interesting question. We started collaborating when I was in Japan. It was actually Final Draft who kind of like connected us. It was like you guys were doing
I talked to him.
Yeah. We were doing an 80s thing basically. It's like you guys, I know you do music, So he showed each of us the other person's work. we talked over Skype, you know, we're like, wait, let's do this cover, and the cover got popular, then went for Gryph0n, and then became friends, and just kind of, you know.
All right, any other questions?
Salt Lake City, right?
All right, any other questions? Anyone got a question? Anyone? Question? Come on.
He's right here.
Right here.
I did a Mickey Mouse impression.
Gosh. Disneyland is appropriate. Yes.
Can you do Nick?
That's a hard one.
Because I
Great.
have sold him very expensive.
Oh gosh.
Where's his info?
Hello.
Yeah, you saw me.
Can you do Ryan Reynolds?
Oh.
Ryan Reynolds, like Deadpool Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Deadpool. Captain Deadpool. It's really tough. Oh, hello.
All right, anyone's got a question? Anyone? Oh, yeah, Christian.
No, you first. You had your hand.
All right, fine. How many? I get.
Come on, man, it's not that hard. He's right here.
I know. My brain just doesn't like working sometimes. How many?
I can relate.
Yeah.
How many total skydivings have you done?
Skydiving. In my ears. I logged them up to like 64, I think, and then I stopped logging them. I probably had a little over 100. That's not a lot compared to some guys.
It's still something. Still something.
It got expensive, so now I just fly my car.
Which, by the way, I heard you're retiring that for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year, but it's not much longer.
I know, still.
Yeah, well, it had a damaged redraft.
I saw that.
I'm fixing it.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? Oh, yeah.
Now, what was your hardest impression to drive?
We watch all your impression videos.
Oh, no.
No, it's good. He likes that. He likes that.
Think about it long and hard for just a moment, and think about what's your hardest impression you've had to do.
I would say probably the impressions that are the most iconic. So Freddie Mercury, very difficult. And what's also difficult is a lot of times, especially with the older singers, they record on different equipment. They have different technology recording. Usually it's analog instead of digital. And so even if Freddie Mercury were alive today and recorded today, he would probably sound different just because of the systems. And I don't like to affect my work. That's one thing. I can't stand autotune, so I will never use it. But if I do too well, a lot of times people just assume that it is autotune, which is kind of annoying. It's like, well, then I should just autotune anyway if people are going to think that. But I don't think I am the best at impressions. But the people like the videos, so I'm just going to keep doing them.
Alright, actually, I have a question.
Yeah, but there's also...
Oh, yeah, but why the hell did you take so many selfies on my phone?
You're welcome.
Alright, yeah?
Perfect answer. I hear Vincent kicked your butt.
You heard half the story.
He did not kick his butt. We kicked his butt as a team.
The first round, we all closed our eyes to make it easier for him. Second round, we dominated. But I will say, like, bringing my arrogance level down just for a moment, Vincent is insanely good.
This is crazy.
He's like a little midget ninja.
Hey.
It's like a Navy SEAL Oompa Loompa. I don't know if like Ninjago gave him special powers. He's crazy good. He won first place both games. So.
Yeah, that was impressive. You got third place in the second game.
Yay!
What did he get in the first game?
He got fifth.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, you?
Could you do a Bruce Lee impression?
Yeah, do it. I want to like listen to him because I want to make sure I get this.
Okay.
What's something that he says that I should say?
It is like a finger pointing
Be
to
water.
You can do that. Empty your mind.
Water has empty your mind, the formless.
Please, this is the chaos I deal with.
In real life, the boards don't fight back.
This is our chaos. I want to listen to him.
I'm next to him.
After a 13-second Alaska Airlines commercial.
Spokesmodel.
This is going to be tough. Do a commercial.
Clear footage of that.
There's a lot of birds.
Hey, birds are nice.
Be nice to the birds.
Birds are life.
So is he the one saying you kick me? Sorry.
I got apples to eat them.
I can try. This is the one I've never done yet.
Okay.
Emotional content, not.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this. Is it intentionally? You're too Here's something on the internet.
I can get it. Alright. Wait. One more time.
It is like a finger pointing away to the moon.
Hey, be nice.
I just wanted to see if the armor was button-proof. You can keep it.
Alright, anyone else have questions? Anyone? Seriously, come on, he's right here. Anyone got a question?
Are you gonna make another man versus wild video?
That's an awesome question. Nathaniel and I, if you...
Hey, basic, everyone, he's doing basic.
He's right here.
Woo!
We did a man versus wild video on YouTube a long time ago. I think like 10 years ago.
Yeah, you have longer hair.
Yeah, I did. Much longer hair. Pre-Navy.
Oh!
It was a ton of fun. We should do another. We had a ton of fun with that, but I don't know if there's plans to in the moment.
We'll have something expected
We
if you did.
still love the desert, so.
That's true. Went back to that.
Alright, you?
Make a funny face.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
What inspired you to be a musician for MLP-based storylines and everything that you do currently?
Yeah, that's a really good question. When I was in the Navy, that's in Japan, actually right after the earthquake, so during Fukushima, like the radiation, incident, I was part of Operation Tamagotchi, which was the cleanup relief, efforts and everything. And it was a very stressful time. I ended up getting evacuated to Sasebo due to repeated radiation exposure. I had some skin damage from that. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And My Little Pony was like a concentrated dose of positivity in an otherwise pretty negative and dark life. So I appreciated that, and then I really appreciated the fandom surrounding it because it was so positive. And it was so a bunch of people just wanted to be themselves and everything. So I wrote Proud to Be a Brony. Actually, the original Proud to Be a Brony, my brother produced the track for it.
Yep, he just played it earlier.
Yeah, and it was just supposed to be a standalone thing. And I said, can I write lyrics to this? He's like, yeah, sure. So wrote that. The response was great. So I guess when you do something and people like it, you keep doing it. That's just kind of how I think of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like a symbiotic relationship. If I produce something and the people who I produce it for love it, then obviously I want to produce more. It's kind of a back and forth thing. And so I guess I just kept doing that until I eventually started working professionally in this arena.
Which we love that for.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Yeah, you.
Yeah, can you do an impression of Stanley?
Stanley. No.
Yeah.
You do the impression.
The Emperor O.
It's good.
It's too quiet.
Anyone? Really, does anyone not have a question? We got Black Gryph0n here.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, pretty good dude.
Anyways. Do you have any embarrassing stories about Nate?
Never done anything. Actually, let's bring Nate over. Come on, Nate.
Nate,
come on.
Nate, anything embarrassing? I heard some about
I was going to say that, because I was going to say the exact thing. I don't think Nathaniel's ever done anything embarrassing. I did something to him that was embarrassing. I broke his arm once.
What?
Not intentionally. I also shot him in the butt with a BB gun. Nathaniel's like this, horse famous.
Oh, hey. I'm Nathaniel.
basically cool without even trying.
You're cooler.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. He's like Justin Bieber if Justin Bieber was cooler.
Someone like Justin Bieber.
Or cool, period.
You can say what you want about Justin Bieber, the dude's got swag. He's got swag.
Hell yeah.
He's like... When I shot him in the butt, he was not facing me, of course. He went like this. Initially, I didn't tell him that I shot it. He thought it was a bee. I
told him a bee stung him?
No. He just assumed it was, and I didn't correct him for it.
Oh. It's a good sibling. Anyone else? Question. Anyone? Dude, I'm gonna kiss him.
Wait, we'll start chanting.
Funny man.
With the periodic table of ponies.
Yeah. So, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to talk a little bit about science to save you in the predicament that you're in.
Thank you.
Can you explain to me in great detail Bernoulli's
principle?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so it's the theory of lift basically on a wing. So a lot of people think that wings work like a fan blade. It just kind of tilts and it pushes the air down. Now, Bernoulli's principle is slightly different. It's the rule of the airfoil. So it's a parabolic curve on top of the wing, and then under the wing is straight. So there's actually the air going over the wing has to move farther.
Okay, I think we heard enough.
Which creates a low pressure, which actually lifts the wing from the top.
Yes, you.
Tacos. Hard shell or soft shell?
Dude, it depends on my mood, seriously. Alright, I'll say soft shell if you're doing Taco Bell, Taco Supremes, and hard shell only if it's Doritos Locos for me. Those are so good, oh my god.
Yes, Jax, what is it?
So I have a question. Since all of your family is like super amazingly talented, do you like ever have like that moment from Step Brothers where all of you like sing in the car like
Seriously? Is it annoying?
Yes.
What?
But no, that's except my dad doesn't swerve into oncoming traffic to show off to mom. That frequently. But no, very much so. That's why I actually love that scene so much.
I can sing high.
Okay.
I'm standing up because I can't see everybody. So that's the answer.
I should probably do that. That's rude of me. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks so much. All right. Now let's do something awesome. Can you please sign this for me, please? Yes, I can. It's because this is not for me.
It's adorable. Is this for Alex?
No, we are giving it away. Oh my god. Giving it away to. Yeah, no, we have to pay $5 for it.
I don't have money on me.
No, we're giving it to one lucky fan if they can answer one question about gays.
Okay.
That isn't family.
Aw.
Go.
I said not family.
And not Christian. Make Gabe ask the question.
Oh, ask me something. You must say something that you like really hard for like fans. Come on.
Goodness, I honestly didn't expect so many people to be here.
How do you think I feel?
No, I mean, really, I appreciate it. Wow, you guys are...
We love you.
Yeah, that's
we love you. We adore you. We just want you to see the love of
To be honest, I didn't... This is something that I totally had no idea about. Like, Nora set this up. She didn't tell me about it. I think she wanted it to be a surprise. It got approved.
I can't believe it got approved.
Yeah, me neither.
This is stupid fangirl, and this thing got approved. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something. I got a perfect question. Question. I got this. Besides, what? What was the name of the Navy band Gabe was in?
Oh, god damn it.
That wasn't it.
That's not
I know because I like Wikipedia's copy.
Christian, you can't put the dirty on a poster.
I know, but I want to say it. I want to guess.
The Village People.
What is it? Come on.
Well, I guess it's time to Google it.
There were actually 3.
Oh, because there's the one you got an audition for and stuff. And then
numbers.
There were 3. Okay, I can...
This is actually a harder question to answer. If you want, if everyone gives up, I can tell you.
No, we don't give up.
You're never gonna give me up.
Never
Never let me down.
Oh my.
Yes.
Oh, come on, anyone?
Something. It has something with Fleet in it. Yes.
Yes.
All right, so that's partial.
Fleetwood Mac.
All right, guys.
Fleet
So
Mac.
you said
What?
You said Fleetwood Mac.
No.
There's something. Wait, hold on. There's 7 Dragon Balls. 7 Fleet.
Yes.
7 Fleet.
Yes.
Something. 7
7
Fleet.
balls?
Band.
Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Are you serious? I don't.
Congratulations.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, you.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, I know.
Jack's like taking down a poster for real. I watched his videos before. I mean, I did watch his videos and look them up. I just do that.
We all.
7 Fleet. If they don't follow me, I'm gonna be very sad.
Really? No.
Yes, hit it again.
Now, Jax, now you ask a question and I'll answer it.
U.S. Navy 7 Fleet band is in Syria. I don't know if
Alright, here's something only the truest Black Gryph0n fan would know. How many hairs on Game's head? Less every year.
Yeah, here's a good question. What was the first song that Gabe was filmed singing?
Filmed.
Oh, I know this.
Is it called the Baby?
Raise your hand, Gabe. Answer the question.
Yes, Mr. Brown.
It's online. It's on YouTube, right?
Yes.
It is.
I was 2. It was
Oh, I've seen this. It's like a Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Remember, I know you too well. But yeah. So Gabe, like I said, we love you, we adore you, and we just want to let you know that we have your big community behind you, and this, we want you to know that we love you. I can't repeat myself. We just.
I'm very surprised how this went. I gotta be honest with you guys. I mean, as you know, I guess this happens to really anybody. I've got a lot of
haters.
Yeah, I guess, you know, that happens to everybody.
Yeah.
The tough part is a lot of the stuff, just, you know, I don't know if you go on Horse News. If you don't, that's probably the best. A lot of stuff on there is made up. A lot of it's designed to be drawn. A lot of people believe it. And it's, you know, there's even things Photoshopped that aren't even real, like fake posts that from it.
I've seen those.
I don't really understand who would want to do that, because it seems like a waste of
And
money.
who would spend their time
So
wanting to do that?
I'm not even like anybody. Like, I understand maybe doing it for someone who's famous, but that's not. Anyway, this was unexpected. I didn't expect people to be here like actually supporting me. It means really a whole lot, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's I'm humbled and honored. So.
One thing I'd like to point out also too, when he responds in the comment section on YouTube, it's probably pretty glamorous to see honestly what all the haters have to comment and then you respond to them back and then it just gets roasted.
Well, I try to respond like playfully because I have reacted.
I mean, you've gone quite savage a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I'm trying to get better at that.
No one's perfect. I can vouch that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m. We're doing our show. Basic is here, Xana's here, and we have a new song. Not Who You Are, it's a song that no one's heard, so we're debuting.